Well, here we are. Another COVID content video. Still waiting to travel, still waiting for a dimmer of light down the road somewhere where I can buy a plane ticket and head back to Mexico. I'm hoping for mid-July, maybe end of July, because I have a quinceañera to attend in Acapulco in September. So I pray that I'll be able to take that trip. Today's video is named Strange Things That Happened to Me in Mexico. But I tell you what, stranger things have happened to me here at home. And one thing that I should have named it Shocking Things That Happened to Me, because I'm going to inform you all that I have found true love. And I'm going to introduce you to her right now. She is Italian, she's beautiful, and she's willing to follow me into Mexico anywhere I go, as long as there is a Subway sandwich. My true love. Oh, I'm gonna yummy you up. Was that weird? So I take a flight into Oaxaca, and I call a taxi or Uber, I really don't recall anymore. And a gentleman picks me up at the airport. He's driving off, and he speaks pretty good English, and he tells me, "Oh, so there's the president." And I kind of chuckled, because you know how Mexicans, they like to joke with tourists. And he says, "Right over there," getting in the car. And I look over, and it's the president of Mexico, President Obrador. And I was a little ticked off at the driver because he was so casual and nonchalant about it. I wanted to get some footage. So I pull out my camera real quick, because that would have been a great shot. And I got a great shot of his vehicle pulling away with paparazzi trying to get their last shots in. So pissed. This next story is kind of appropriate for the times. Being in a pandemic, it's kind of hard to get a haircut these days. Not that I need one, but I was regularly getting haircuts while I was in Acapulco one year, and this is going back in time, maybe the year 2000, but there was a barber that I'd always go to, but I'll never forget the first time that I ever visited this barber. He was recommended by a friend, a Mexican friend, and I always want to go back and talk to this guy thinking, did you know what you were setting me up for? This barber was awesome. He was an elderly gentleman, and he was so proud to be in the military during World War II. Now, he wasn't involved in the war, but just the fact that he was able to associate himself during that time in history and wanted to tell me so many stories. Now, the haircut wasn't the problem with him. The problem was when it was time to shave your neck, you don't realize this until you watch him in the mirror, is he's got a little shake going on. Not a problem if he's using the clippers, because, you know, as long as he's moving, he's doing good. But the time came where it was time to shave the back of your neck, because when he got the single blade out, I was a little concerned, thinking, yeah, time out? Is there somebody else we can call here? Do you have a backup barber? But the amazing thing was, as soon as the blade got about 3-4 inches from your neck, smooth as butter. The shake stopped completely, and I was able to enjoy a nice haircut, a nice shave, along with great military stories. So I'll never forget that barber. I wish he was still around, and I wish I would have taken a photo of him, because he was quite the character. So while in Acapulco, I've been actually in two auto accidents. One of them, I guess I'll chalk up as my fault. So there's this family wedding that I'm invited to attend. And before the wedding, they set me off on this errand with this gentleman who has a pickup truck, and we're assigned to pick up folding chairs. So we go to this warehouse, we come back, mind you, he speaks no English, not a word. You know my limited Spanish, so we're all full up with chairs. We're driving down the road and we see, well, I see that the road comes, there's a merge. There's a car on the right side and he's not seeing us. So I call out, watch it, watch it, watch it. And we collided. Nobody hurt, minor for me. The owners of the car had damage. So we pull over and he asks me in Spanish, why didn't you warn me? I did. I said, watch it, watch it, watch it. What is this? Watch it, watch it, watch it. He didn't know what the hell watch it was. So in Spanish, here's another Spanish lesson for you. Aguas, aguas, aguas. He would have stopped, got his attention. I would have averted an accident in Acapulco. I don't know, that was accident number 1. I'll chalk it up, my fault. Accident number 2 is a little more serious. Again, nobody got hurt. But this is back in the 90s, and me and my friends are out on a boat. We spent all day just hammering down the Coronas, and it's time to go home because it got dark. You can't stay out on the boat for that long, so we head out. You should know, if you spent time in Mexico, that your friends, family can be very persistent in helping you. And this was the case. Andy, you can't get on the buses. You've been drinking, so we're gonna take you home. Oh, that's very nice of you. Yep, I'm on board. So we get to the vehicle and there's 7 adults, large adults, mind you, and a VW Volkswagen. And the owner of the Volkswagen Bug was smashed. She was highly intoxicated. So I'm saying, okay, I'm out. If I can't catch a bus, I'll walk, not knowing how far the walk was because I really didn't know Acapulco that well back then. So they convinced / forced me to cram into this VW Bug 7 large adults. Ay, que la... Sochi, who's the driver, she's now a lawyer, by the way, gets behind the wheel, and some people can drive while drunk fairly well. She could not. Now, if you're in Acapulco, you know that along the Costera, which we had to drive along, there's an island with palm trees throughout the entire Costera. We're driving from the Palapa Hotel down the road. We have to turn right at the island, make a U-turn, come down along the island to our destination. She proceeded to drive over it. Thank God there was no cars coming from the left or the right because we would have been smashed. We land on all fours like she planned it along the way. She makes a left turn and proceeds, and I'm saying, let me out, let me out. They're laughing their asses off. It's okay, Andy, we're okay. We're gonna get you home. At some point I say, enough. I reach over to start opening the door. I'm getting out whether you stop or not. So they let me out, which was another mistake because I'm out in the neighborhood that I probably should not have been out. There was no people, no cars. I'm intoxicated. So yeah, not a wise choice. You go to Mexico, you experience life. I'll never forget those moments for the rest of my life. I'm happy to endure them, happy to share them. So I was in Cuernavaca, and there was a tourist destination that I was intending to go to, and I wasn't really sure where to go, but a nice guy sat next to me on the bus. He was a professor from the university, spoke very good English, and he tells me, I'm about 6 stops down from where we're at. You're about 3 stops. I'll just let you know when to get off. So we're having a great conversation, and suddenly the bus stops, and the driver stands up, he says something in Spanish and rushes off the bus, and everybody else starts to follow him off the bus. And I'm thinking, well, I've got about 4 more stops to go, so I'm staying put. But my buddy, my professor friend, he gets up too, and suddenly he forgets how to speak English. So I am totally confused. Finally, he's able to utter a couple English words. Bus fire! So, yes, the bus had caught fire on the last stop, but everybody got off and everybody was fine. I don't know why all of my strange happenings in Mexico, or most of them, seem to involve some type of vehicle. But I'm not telling you to stay away from vehicles, but you may want to keep an eye peeled at all times. Hey everybody,
Please stay well, stay safe, and stay tuned for the next Timeless Travel Club video coming to a laptop/computer/TV near you. Andy out. Whoa.